The most dangerous room on an oil rig is smaller than a tennis court and can kill you 5 ways before breakfast. This room is the driller's cabin. It sits 10 to 13 feet above the drill floor, elevated on steel beams so the operator inside can see everything. The rotary table spinning pipe, the derrick hand, guiding connections 90 feet overhead, and the blowout preventer controls, ready to seal the well in seconds. The cabin is pressurized, climate controlled, and filled with touchscreens and joysticks. Outside, the drill floor roars at 86 to 100 decibels. Inside, it is office quiet. From the driller's chair, you're watching 500 tons of drill pipe suspended over 18,000 feet of open hole. Most of the time, you are not doing anything at all. That is not how it used to be. Drilling began with hand brakes and cable tools. Drillers needed the grip strength of 6 sailors and knew more knots than riggers. By the 1950s, rotary drilling demanded constant vigilance, one hand on the brake, eyes on the weight indicator, adjusting pressure and speed by feel. Then automation arrived. By the 1990s, the automatic driller began running the brakes and maintaining weight on bit, while the human operator monitored downhole signals. The cabin became a command center designed to protect the driller from noise, weather, and the physical chaos of the drill floor, while keeping them plugged into every sensor on the rig. Here is what that looks like. Before the driller ever sits in that chair, geologists interpret seismic imaging to locate hydrocarbons. Engineers design a well plan, including casing sizes, depths, and drilling fluid weights to balance the pressure thousands of feet below. The driller's job begins when the rig spuds and starts drilling, and it continues until the well reaches total depth or it encounters trouble. The driller adjusts rate of penetration, monitors torque and drag, watches for kicks, which are unexpected pressure influxes, and coordinates with the mud engineer to manage drilling fluid properties. Every decision feeds into a real-time display. Weight on bit, rotations per minute, standpipe pressure, pump strokes, and flow rate. Most of the time, the driller's job is watching a computer do the drilling until the computer cannot. The cabin controls 3 systems that keep the well alive. First, the drilling fluid system. Pumps circulate mud down the drill string and back up the annulus, carrying rock cuttings to the surface and holding back formation pressure. The driller watches flow rate and standpipe pressure on a screen. A sudden drop in flow rate signals lost circulation. The formation is swallowing your mud. A sudden increase in flow signals a kick. Formation fluids are entering the wellbore. You have seconds to respond. Second, the hoisting system. The Drawworks is a massive winch that raises and lowers the drill string. The driller uses a joystick or touchscreen to control speed and tension. Misjudge the weight, and you snap 90 feet of pipe. Drop it too fast, and you lose the string downhole. Third, the blowout preventer controls. Hydraulic panels in the cabin let the driller activate annular preventers and ram preventers within seconds. Redundant controls exist on the drill floor and at a remote emergency station. Response time after actuating the pneumatic valves exceeds 3 seconds because of long air piping. During a kick, every second counts. Approximately 1/2 of all blowout preventer system failures trace back to the control unit, including hydraulic leaks, electrical faults, and operator error. That is why the driller trains quarterly in simulators and why the blowout preventer gets tested before every well. The driller is the first line of defense. Real-time sensors detect gas influx, abnormal pressure, and drilling fluid loss. Alarms trigger automatically. The driller can activate multiple barriers, annular preventers to seal around the pipe rams to clamp onto it, and blind shear rams to cut through it if necessary. Well, control procedures are spelled out in the American Petroleum Institute Recommended Practice number 59. The procedure is to shut down pumps, close the blowout preventer, and circulate out the influx using the choke manifold. The driller reports to the tool pusher and coordinates with the mud engineer, derrick hand, and rig manager during emergencies. Common failure modes include human error during routine operations, such as incorrect fluid weight and missed kick indicators. Equipment failures include hydraulic leaks and blowout preventer controls, and complacency induced by automation reduces vigilance and increases risk. The cabin is designed to feel safe, and that is the problem. Offshore drillers work 14 days on, 14 days off, with 12-hour shifts, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The driller arrives 15 minutes early for shift handover. The outgoing driller briefs on well status, downhole conditions, and any ongoing issues. One unspoken tradition is checking whether the outgoing driller looks rested or exhausted. If they have not left the chair in hours, something is wrong downhole. Inside the cabin, the driller sits for hours monitoring the automatic driller. Modern safety systems require 2-handed operation or redundant commands for sensitive maneuvers, a safeguard against complacency when the job resembles watching paint dry. The assistant driller and derrick hand-handle pipe connections on the floor. The driller coordinates by radio and with hand signals that are visible through the cabin windows. Offshore rigs provide gyms, cafeterias with good food, recreational facilities, and internet for video calls. Alcohol is banned, and random drug and alcohol testing is enforced. Crews develop close bonds, often described as a second family, and they maintain friendships during off-rotation periods. On the first day, everyone is a stranger. By the end of the first or second hitch, the crew becomes family. In earlier decades, roughnecks from the cable tool era finished their careers with more gold rings than fingers left to wear them. Hand injuries were that common. Modern driller stations resemble arcade game consoles more than handbrakes. Some drillers keep a worn photo or a lucky charm taped to the console edge, a small anchor in a highly technical space. At shift change, the assistant driller greets the arriving crew. If the driller does not get up from the chair, that signals trouble downhole. The driller earns $75,000 to $120,000 a year to stay awake while a machine does the work and to take over the instant it cannot. Offshore rig day rates range from $150,000 to $500,000 depending on water depth, rig class, and contract terms. A single day of downtime equals the annual budget of a small-town public works department. The driller's salary, $75,000 to $120,000 a year in the United States, is modest compared to the rig manager's $150,000 to $250,000, but the driller's decisions directly affect whether the well stays on schedule or spirals into a multi-million-dollar sidetrack or abandonment. Unplanned events, equipment failure, lost circulation, stuck pipe, kicks, trigger chain reactions. Operators must mobilize additional equipment, call in specialists, and extend the drilling contract. A single blowout preventer control system failure can idle a rig for days while technicians diagnose hydraulic leaks or replace control pods. Supply logistics compound the problem. Offshore rigs rely on helicopter and supply vessel schedules for crew changes, spare parts, and drilling fluid additives. Weather delays cascade. A driller waiting for a replacement part cannot drill, and the day rate clock never stops. Let's clear up 3 things people get wrong. Myth number 1. The driller manually controls every aspect of drilling. Reality: modern drillers spend most of their time monitoring automation systems. The automatic driller runs the brakes, maintains weight on bit, and drills the hole. The human driller watches for anomalies, gas influx, pressure spikes, and drilling fluid loss, and interprets downhole signals. Automation has transformed the role from manual labor to vigilant oversight. Myth number 2. The driller's cabin is a safe refuge from all rig hazards. Reality: noise exposure inside the cabin still exceeds the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health recommended limit of 82 decibels over 12 hours during active drilling. Drill floor noise ranges from 86 to 100 decibels. Cabin insulation reduces but does not eliminate risk. Additionally, the driller remains the ultimate authority during well control emergencies and must make split-second decisions under pressure. Myth number 3. Offshore drilling is getting safer every year. Reality: United States offshore operations recorded 726 injuries and 9 deaths between 2020 and 2023. Transport accidents, helicopter and vessel transfers remain the leading cause of fatalities for oil and gas workers. The driller's role has fewer hand injuries than in earlier decades, but vigilance fatigue and automation complacency introduce new risks. The driller's cabin is smaller than a tennis court and houses systems that can kill in multiple ways: blowout, equipment failure, human error, complacency, the slow grind of noise exposure. The driller's job is to be ready for the moment automation fails, when the sensors scream, when the well kicks, when 3 seconds decide whether the blowout preventer closes in time. The cabin looks like an office. The job feels like watching a computer. But every 12-hour shift, the driller sits in a chair where one wrong joystick input or one missed alarm can turn routine into catastrophe. Old-time drillers lost fingers to handbrakes and cable tools. Modern drillers lose nothing visible, but they carry the weight of knowing that the safest room on the rig is still the most dangerous, because safety depends on them staying awake, staying sharp, and staying ready to act when the machine cannot. If you want more deep dives like this, subscribe. Tell me in the comments which part of the rig you want broken down next: the blowout preventer stack, the mud system, or life in the engine room.